on this platform where they can be able to share their skills and to build a critical mass for women in science and technology to influence policies. Because what has happened is that we have women in isolated areas, achievers in isolated areas. So we are able to bring in these women together, and the ones who are coming up to be mentored through the process. Then we can have a very formidable force in terms of women being at the center stage of policy making in STI, science, technology, and innovation. ATPS started this program, so it's one of its priority programs within its strategic plan, phase 6, which started in 2008 to 2012. And the main role for ATPS is facilitative role and coordination. So we focus on capacity building to ensure that we support these women in this forum. They do the implementation, but ATPS gives the extra push in terms of, like recently, if I can cite this, we did a call for proposals for women to do research or to respond to this call in terms of research proposals that they can do in different themes in science, technology, and innovation. So that has capacity building inbuilt into that program. So, and besides that, ATPS provides other avenues like communication, like websites where all these women can have an avenue to disseminate their findings and their work for greater dissemination in the global area. AWFST started in 2009, and where it was launched. So the Ghana meeting was a follow-up to the launch to be able to confirm the members, the steering committee members who were selected at that point. So this was an election that was taking place, and a group of women were confirmed to the forum, and they comprise of the chair, the vice chair, the patron, and the secretary. So these are the people who are going to provide governance and steer the activities of AWFST going forward.
Number one, I want to commend ATPS for coming up with this program, African Women Forum for Science, Technology and Innovation. It was long overdue. But at the same time, for ATPS to recognize the input of women in STI is extremely commendable, because many times women, whether as scientists or the women at lower level, their input is like not considered seriously and is never taken on board. For ATPS to be bringing this in the form that the women component is key. In other words, what ATPS is actually telling the rest of Africa is we cannot develop focusing on this by leaving 50% of the nation's population outside this arena. So to me, I support it, and I think the process we have been engaged in here in Accra has been extremely active. I think if you come to the group, group work which we are doing, the women are so engrossed in the whole process, trying to come up with our plan of action for the next 3 years, and we are very excited that at long last we are seeing that recognition, and that's the very reason why, frankly, ATPS should move this process to the level of the EU and also national governments.
My assessment so far is that both programs have really done well in creating awareness, in building individual capacity. What is missing at the moment is actually African ownership, in the sense of African governments, ministries for youth and women coming on board to actually say, I want to support this platform, and encourage these youths and women to be able to take their own initiatives in their own countries. One who cherishes international development partnerships, but also believes strongly in homegrown solutions. Because if we continue to recline and wait for development aid, then it's going to be a very dependent type of development. So I would like to see African governments actually supporting the youths and different youth platforms, not only these two that I've mentioned to you. There's also a award program that is helping African women, and these kinds of programs are very useful programs that have very low-hanging fruits for development, and we should actually invest in supporting such initiatives.
ATPS started with a lean staff of 5 staff members. We were hosted as a secretariat within the International Development Research Center. So it was just the executive director, the finance and admin manager, and the research officer. Those are the key staff members. So I've seen ATPS grow even in the staff complement. We are now more than 5 staff members, obviously, and people have brought in diverse skills and experiences. So I think ATPS is heading towards the right direction in terms of its staff complement and the skills they bring. There's no stopping ATPS. We are going to be the center of science, technology, and innovation in Africa.
It is also not a forum for us to start treating African youths differently. Growing up as an African youth, I used to think that an American youth had better opportunities than I have. I used to think that a British youth had a better opportunity than I have. But having traveled the world, I see huge opportunities in Africa. There is quite a lot of opportunities for youths to innovate. And if you think about the youths of Kenya, think about the M-Pesa, think about the Shahidi, think about different kinds of innovations. There's a very green platform for innovation to happen. So the youths of Africa should take those challenges as opportunities and begin to think about how they can apply science, technology, and innovation to solve these problems. And we were just discussing recently, and a colleague of mine was talking about the AIDS vaccine. And he said it was not just something dreamt about by someone, but it was people who sat together and started forming, creating scientific solutions for these problems. If you look at climate change, for instance, it's the youth in China at the moment that's actually getting together and creating renewable energy options. They want the market. They want to be able to develop renewable energy and sell it to people. American youth, European youth, different youths everywhere are actually coming together to see, hey, there is an opportunity in climate change. What can I do from that? But what are we doing in Africa? Lots of youth in Africa are also doing that. And that is why I find the platforms very useful, because there are so many widowed innovators in Africa. They develop a lot of innovation, technology prototypes, but they know nobody. They have no access to knowledge. They have no access to codifying that knowledge or even getting property rights for it. And very soon it's lost to somewhere else. So this platform will really help the youth to be able to bring their innovations together and be able to move forward in terms of contributing to development in Africa. If I have to quote famous speeches, I would say that the youths of Africa should think about what they can do to change the continent, to the dream they want to see, more than complain about what is not done for them.
Celebration of African scientists, especially women, is a tricky issue in that a lot of women are actually unsung heroes. It will need an effort to be able to tease out who has done what. So it will be a process. And I think when it is achieved, it will be good in that it will encourage those who are working in the background to come up and actually share what they are doing. And it is true, there are women out there who are working very hard in the area of agricultural production and the development, because we all know actually the women are the ones that are feeding not only the cities but the nation.
There is some form of renaissance going on in Africa, a new wave of thinking, a new wave. We're currently preparing a manifesto for science and technology in Africa, and you find across the continent there's a lot going on. Let us celebrate that. Let us celebrate the youths of Africa. Let us celebrate the women of Africa. If you think about the African woman today, is far different from the African woman we had 20 years ago. That time we had few people who had capacity, and now capacity is not lacking in Africa. Let's give them opportunity to be able to perform at the national platform, at the Pan-African platforms, at the global platforms. Let's involve the youths. Let's involve the women. Only that way can we develop.